There we go. All righty. Good morning. Sorry, I ran a little late there. Got 6 people in chat. You give me a 5x5 in chat. Let me know that my chat's working. I do see a lot of people that are there. I'd appreciate it. And good morning to another rendition of MacBean Scottish Fitness Farms and Prepping morning chat. So I got the live chat set. Make sure I got it on the right one. There we go. There's everybody. I don't know why it delays. So let me take a, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm way behind. So Prepper Cowboy, Beaverines, good morning. Randy. So I'm actually able to get some rotilling in this morning for the first sprinkle hit. And if it doesn't hit too much harder, I should be able to hit it again. I expanded out about another 5 feet. So now my garden's approximately 30 by 50 feet. And I think I'm gonna start throwing in start planting the lettuce because it's a cold water crop. Miss Worm, good morning. Michael, good morning. My body beat down. Got that chat going back and forth. I don't know why it didn't show up earlier. Steve Lyons. Yeah, that was one heck of a bench way out here. More of a flex. Zany, good morning. Thanks for joining in. I think I've caught up. Rain pushing back, not now until noon. Okay. So hopefully I'll be able to get another pass through there and then the garden be pretty close to being ready. So I put the gardening video on both my channels. And the way I looked at it is gardening is part of fitness. First of all, there is a lot of physical labor involved into planting, carrying soil, digging holes in the ground to plant, the plants, tilling, road tiller you got to hang on to. That takes some definitely strength in that, pulling weeds, hoeing, doing troughs to plant the seeds. A lot of bending down, a lot of sitting low. I think it's why raised beds are getting so popular because I don't have to bend so far to weed them. So where I was only going to put it on the farms channel, I said, this has a lot to do with fitness. So I'm going to put it on fitness also. So I've got the garden pretty much to the size I want it. Like I said, it's about 30 by 50 feet. I've been taking the jalapeno pepper out for sun. When it is sunny and it's starting to spring some more leaves, so it's telling me it's still alive, which is a good thing. That will be the only jalapeno plant I'll have in the garden. I got over 400 peppers from it last time, so I really, really don't believe that I need to have any more of the jalapenos. I pre-planted in buckets pumpkins, sweet pie pumpkins, zucchini, and tomatoes. And I threw the beef steaks in there. And what I do is I grow them in a 5-pound bucket until they get about this tall. And then I can separate them and I can plant them. So that'll give me plenty of the beef steaks. Last year I had cherry tomatoes come back up. They were volunteers. So I didn't even plant tomatoes last year. They just came up. And they surprisingly, they gave me quite a few tomatoes. The one thing that I am concerned about is I had a plague of those tomato worms, those big green worms. And they get about that big. And out here, we run insect plagues of the year. Last year was its turn. Hopefully, it's not going to do a repeat. But I did buy a black light flashlight because at night they really show up. During the day, they're hard to see because they really camouflage well. But I probably threw over 100 of them into the pond, feeding the bluegills last year. If you ever go up to your tomato plant and also you're like, man, the top of that plant looks stripped, you've got to find them because that's the problem. And they can take a plant down overnight, and then when they get done with your tomato plants, they will go to your potato plants, and I even had them attack my pepper plants. So it's something that you have to keep going. Do I have an Instagram account? I do. It should be under John MacBean or MacBean John. I forget which one it is. But I do have an Instagram. I do have a Facebook, although I haven't been watching the Facebook as much as I usually do. I was on groups. I'd be on these lifting groups, and I was always putting all these videos on them. My daughter said, Dad, you should have a YouTube account. Because, Facebook don't pay any money for that. And so I got on the YouTube, and it's been a much more enjoyable experience. Here's a shirt I bought at the trade post. Kind of fits with me. It says, we kill people who kill people because killing people is wrong. It's kind of the military. I would say mental presence there. New job is doing well. We're in heat treatment, so it's very hot in there. You don't realize how much, but during an 8-hour shift, I will drink about 4 Gatorade Zeros and about 2 bottles of water per shift. I am down now to 237 pounds. And I think about under 2 pounds is when the wife will start complaining that I'm too skinny. But it is what it is. So went down to my little storage area and I started looking at some things. Good morning, Lowell. That's proper. Good to see you. After your chiro appointment. So Randy, where I work out in Streeter, there's a chiropractor there named Doc, and he's really into lifting and that. And I've never been to a chiropractor. I personally, it's something I don't do. But I had him explain to him. I kind of told him, I said, it seems like he's going there, but he had a really good one. So well, it's like a checkup. It's like you're just kind of getting things realigned in that. So I do like the guy, even though I don't use a chiropractor. So today, I know a lot of people need them and do wonders. So I got, corned beef hash. When's the best by date of this thing? By December 15th, 2022. So I'm still good. These are one of the things that I bought a bunch of when they were on sale and I put down in the basement. And sometimes I forget about them. So I went downstairs and said, hey, I better grab them. So what's the nutritional value? So servings per container, 2 servings. This is a half a serving is best. 370 calories per serving. So I'm going to be getting, 740 calories from this can alone, which is significant. It looks like I need to up my calories because I keep dropping weight. They're being fixed. There we go. Yeah, and I tell you, I've been fortunate. Backs and shoulders have always been in good shape for the most part. 16 grams of protein per serving, so I got 32 grams here. 10% of the iron you need, 4% of the calcium. So right away I'm sitting with 32 grams of protein. Well, I don't eat this alone. I put things into it. So the first thing we'll start with is bacon. So go ahead and ignite the old flame. Let that kind of warm up. I like to have the skillet a little warm before I hit it. So while we're waiting, it's coffee time. I gotta put in some of my Irish creamer in here. It's a very special brand. And because this thing leaks when it pours for some reason. So this is the only time I'll have coffee is during the morning. And it's not necessarily that I have it every day. I never got in the habit of it. You see, lie on the table, moves up and down, works wonders. Oh, wonderful. I like to get one of those tables where you can hang upside down. I tried one of those in the gym one time, and that kind of really helped straighten my back. So we got 32 grams of protein here, and let's call it 750 calories. The bacon is gonna, it's only gonna be a couple grams, but I'm using 2 small slices. But yesterday I went really heavy on the bacon, and I had probably more grease than I needed. And I'll put this half slice in there. Just tap it off just right. And as always, I'm at from a butcher. My eggs come from a neighbor down the road. And then a buddy of mine and I are going to go together on a side of beef, because it seems like you're really taking a risk a lot of times when you're at the store. All right, what'd I miss? Okay, I got to scroll up. I missed something. Hey, Mr. Christopher. Hey, good morning. Ever been a chiropractor? I've never heard any horror stories of chiropractors. Just I've had a few friends that always had to go to one. I said, well then, okay. Eggs on hash. And we are putting an egg on hash. You are absolutely right. There he goes. It's going Tiger. So I did get my old Northern Girl hobby. Pop in and say hello. I appreciate that. So we're doing corned beef hash, 32 grams of protein, 750 calories. We're going to add an egg into it. These big eggs, so there's at least 8 grams there. So now we're at 40. It's not ham, it's Spam. So I'm going to chop some of that in to enhance the flavor. And then some green onions. So Spam, 6 servings per container. Calories, 180. So, let's just call it 200. We're at 930 calories. 7 grams of protein. So I'll have at least a serving in there. So we'll have 47 grams. And we know what the milk does. So 47 grams of protein. Now, actually, I have easily another 20 there. So I'll be heavy on the protein today, about 67 grams. So we know about 17 of it will probably just pass on through, but it's good food. It's good food. I got to do that. So, and then a green onion for flavor. I am throwing onions in a glass. I'll probably put that in a clear glass so it gets sun. I'll do that. I'll go next Walmart trip. I'll go get some one of those closeout ones. Also, I would like to say toodaloo. Well, I guess to scoot. Okay, well, Randy Steaks are stopping in. I have to thank everybody yesterday. I got like 160 views by the end of the day. That's good. That's a record for me on a live chat. I think over think last time I looked, 42 likes, 43 likes. And then once I get the bacon searing pretty good, I turn the heat down a little bit so I don't overcook it. And because, let me check the chat so I'm not running too far behind. Hubby won't touch spam. We have to find a way to fix it so he doesn't know it. Just tell him it's ham. I tell you what, I used to get this when I was in the service. When we go out in the field, we grab a couple cans of these and bring them with us. If it wasn't in the middle of summer, otherwise we were kind of worried about the heat. And then for the longest time, I forgot all about it. And then my wife was making, she went and bought it, was frying it on the frying pan and making, fried spam. I said, well, you like that? She goes, yeah. So I'll go get more. Remember my sponsor, Cutco Knives? Very high quality. I did notice that there's some YouTubers out there that are hating on this product. I don't know why. I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion. But Steve Lyons and I know better. So then what I do is, of course, I don't take, I just put in a container. Use for later. But I have come to like spam. Boy, how quickly you fill up the fridge. So, put the bacon one more time. While I'm doing that, I slice the spam up into cubes. I will be adding green onions too, but I'm going to put the spam in first. Not that it needs to cook, because it doesn't. But it takes longer to kind of fry it down. So I've cubed it up. I'll put that in there. Then I'll put the green onions. Then I'll put the corned beef hash. And then once all that's pretty much cooked, I'll throw the egg on top. And then we'll be then for flavor, because of nitrates and sulfates, yeah. It's not something I eat often, but it's more for an SHTF scenario. But if you mix it in with enough things, it's actually a pretty good meal. Unfortunately, we can't keep the food stored without all that stuff. But I over time, I am trying to replace things. Like if everybody remembers from the other two ones, that I discovered that buying the cheap tuna is not a deal. Here's the cheaper can for $1. Here's the yellowfin. Then another thing I wanted to look at was they're both, well, this one net weight is 4.5 ounces, but when you drain them, they're both 4 ounces. Now I notice when you have water, when it's packed in water, you got to drain a lot of water out. The oil, not so much, but yellowfin, you almost don't even have to drain it. There's very little olive oil in there, and the olive oil is good. Yes, A1 is for eggs. It's not for steak. If you use it on steak, then you bought a very poor quality steak, or you don't know how to cook steak. So I am now going to be buying the more expensive tuna, which is also, well, yeah, if it gives you migraines, you don't want to be messing with that mess worm, which is also healthier for you, but it contains more calories. So yes, it's 50% more, but it has 50% more protein, and it has 50% more calories. So my thing, does it cost you more? No, it's the same price. For the same price, I can get better food. So now I'm going to add the Spam. While it's sizzling, that's what it is. These things are good for. This little plastic thing to separate. Got to keep them separated. Now I do this on a low heat. You don't need to actually sear it. That coffee's good. And Gypsy. Gypsy is trying to type a message for Binks. Well, that must be where Binks is, because Binks been AWOL in the morning when I come down. Now, when the wife comes down, because she comes down about an hour earlier, she works during the day and I work during the afternoon. She says she gives Binks food. When I come down, Binks is not waiting anymore, so I'm going to tell the wife she's going to stop feeding Binks. And but when I come home at 11:30 at night, Binks is there waiting for me. Hops on my lap, gets a little bit of loving, and then goes over to the food bowl. And it's like, feed me, Seymour, feed me. And I can only guess that she hasn't been fed. But I suspect she has, and she's boondoggling me. I just chop up the green onion. Throw these in the water. And I know my brother-in-law was doing that, or he was growing them back up. So not a ton, just enough for flavor. I don't put them in yet. I want the ham to cook a little bit. I'm going to kick up the heat a little bit, not hearing any sizzling. Coffee ain't good this morning. Be right back. All right, little Miss Prepper. We have 3. Freddie, Ruby, and Izzy the Wiz. So far, I only have the one cat, and I think it's going to keep me from having any dogs. Unless we get a puppy, and then she learns to tolerate the puppy. That'd be the only way we could do it. Nice thing about having a cat that can hunt is when Mrs. Scottish Prepper and I go out on vacation, I just fill about 3 big bowls of food out there and leave it out there. Then we come back, she's still fine to go. So I ran out of the one treats we had bought with a kind and generous donation from Miss Worm. And the wife, who never said she liked cats, went out and bought these treats. Which is kind of funny. Hey, how's it going, Fairness Veteran? Did you get to finish watching the live on dealing with injuries? Hopefully you did. It was actually a very successful one. It's one of my best live streams so far. And with YouTube, I was putting a lot of short videos out there. And the short videos were getting me a lot of views. But now that I'm doing the longer videos, I'm not getting as many views, but I'm getting more subs. So it kind of works out. You got, I guess after 6-8 months, I'm starting to figure some of the stuff out. And then I hope you enjoyed the gardening video. If the rain doesn't come after the stream, I'm going to go hit it again and do another quick video on it. And if I get the ground in one area broke up enough, I might plant some lettuce. Lettuce is one of those things that are pretty cold tolerant, along with onions. And I have a lot of onion seeds. Let me go grab them. So here's where I keep a lot of my seeds. Nice animal box. Got a ton of them, but last year I picked all the tops off the onions. And when you shake them, I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but you know, those little black dots, those are onion seeds. So what I'll do is I'll plant these along with the lettuce. You know, a lot of times my dad would teach me to do that. You'd plant certain crops together, some that took longer to grow than others. Like we always planted radishes and carrots together. Radishes are done in 28 days. But they do kind of loosen up the soil for you with other plants. So what I'll probably do is when I plant the carrots are also very tolerant to cold weather. When I plant the lettuce, I'll probably plant those onions along with them, and I'll probably plant carrots with them too. And maybe some radishes. I'm not big on radishes, but I know a lot of people are. And that'll be one of the things that I take in work with me. So I'm letting the Spam cook in really good. That's going to get a lot of that flavor in there. Survival Buzz, hello, hey, thanks for stopping in. Great to see you. Everybody, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. I appreciate it. Helps my fragile ego. Done it with celery. Okay, I haven't planted celery. I want to get those celery seeds. I love celery. You know, I use it with my tuna all the time. So I may have to get some, but if I do get the opportunity, I might put a row of and what am I planting? All of the above. So I talked to the farmer, and I think he's putting beans in this year. And so I can put the big plants right on the edge of the garden, and they can spread into the beans, and that's just fine. Remember, you know, I'll plant like one pumpkin plant, and I'll get 10, 15 pumpkins out of it. You know, in time you sit there and store them, and that, you know, 10, 15 pumpkins, that's, you know, easily 15 pumpkin pies. They do make pumpkin pie out of them. The acorn squash, I like. The honeydews are supposed to be good for you. If I find the seeds, I might plant them, but usually I like to do acorn squash. Cucumbers, I love cucumbers. And I'll make pickles. and cantaloupe. And so usually with the watermelon cantaloupe, I only do 1 or 2 plants because, especially with cantaloupe, I'll get 30 cantaloupe per plant. They all ripen within 2 weeks. So as much as I like cantaloupe, it's hard to eat them all. So I don't want to overplant. Same thing with zucchini. I like fried zucchini, but I can also make relish out of zucchini. But generally, 1 or 2 zucchini plants are all you need, you know. And if you don't pick them right away, you can get some shillelaghs out of those babies. I do have a place about 30 miles down the road that will buy them from me, and they have a scout camp. It's not scouts, but it's a youth camp, and they use that, to help feed them. Soil is actually pretty well. It's Illinois. We have black dirt, and I do have blue clay underneath it, but I've got a good, depending where it is, but where the garden is now, I have a good 12 to 16 inches of good black soil. And I'm always adding to the garden. I'm always putting, soil into it and peat and stuff like that. So the soil's really good. And it's right next to where the farmer farms. And because the last 2 years I didn't overplant it, I think I'm going to be, this year I'm hoping for a really good garden. So I'll put the one giant jalapeno plant in there. And then it's time to put the onions in. And then I'll probably put in about 4 green peppers, maybe 6. They sell them in a 6-pack. I'm going to plant some in the coffee cans and see if I can do it that way. And I always start with these lower numbers. And the time I get in the garden, I'm putting way too much in. Yes, the heritage one's called Boothie's Blonde, bright yellow with black spines. So my cucumbers, 9 a.m. they're this big. All right, at noon they're this big. At 4 p.m. they're the regular size. The next morning they're the size of a zucchini and they're yellow. So I've learned to pick them when they're small. Because if you don't, then I end up getting a lot of seeds. That's the way it is. Heritage cucumber, yes, they are. Well, I do a lot of lettuce, especially during the summer. I'll eat a lot of salads, so I'll go out there and cut a bunch of lettuce and chop up half a cucumber and green pepper, and I'll take that to work. With this new job and that, and the way the routine going, I might be down to 222. Time the summer goes through, wife's gonna hate it. The six-pack attack is coming back. See, I can get away with all this because wife generally does not watch my live streams. So now it's time to add in the hearty hash. Now I usually buy Mary Kitchens. And if I make a breakfast for Miss Scott's Fitness, that's the can I'd have to grab. She is very particular, whatever that word is, the brands. And even though there may be no taste difference between them, but I think there is. If she's seen the can right away, she would not like the food. So if you just dump it out of the can, you get a big block. So being mindful of the little slicer there, I kind of take this out in chunks. Yeah, I'm going to turn the heat down low because it's splattering too much. One thing I like about a gas cooktop is you can truly control the heat. And versus an electric one, You have low and high. And I don't care what they say. There is no medium heat in an electric cooking surface. So I usually add salt and pepper to food, but between the Spam and the hash, I got plenty of salt. So I just do a little fresh ground pepper. Throw that in there. Put my green onions away for tomorrow. And then here's my old box of seeds here. That stuff full. So I'm going to try to, and then I've been buying from, I think it's Annie's heirloom seeds. So that's been going. Gas cooking here, yeah. Now, an electric oven is more consistent than a gas oven. But the nothing beats a gas cooking surface. And charcoal's even better. So we're talking about gardening and fitness and stormy weather. Let's hope hold off until I get that stuff planted. You hear that rain? Oh, Randy left. So I always tease Randy that she's sending rain over from Missouri, but that's where the rain comes from. Basically, whatever Missouri gets, about 10 to 14 hours later, pretty much guaranteed that's what I'm going to get. I have a lot of relatives, my wife has a lot of relatives in Missouri. And so we find ourselves in Missouri generally anywhere from 2 to 5 times a year. Sometimes we just pack up for the weekend and go. Now I'm going to be busy this week, and the missus is not, or Texas. There we go. So Texas is like the size of the Midwest. And that's why I keep telling the wife, because I've been to Texas about 4 times. I have to be careful because that's where all my exes are. Just kidding. I have no exes. I've been married once. Still married. It'll be 30 years this year. But my daughter was stationed down there in San Antonio. So we drove down there. Seen the Alamo and went down the riverfront and that. So yeah, you got all the climates there. I mean, it's just, rain is good to your garden. Yes, it is. A monsoon is not. But and then every time when we went to Arizona, we'd skip through North Texas. So little Miss Pepper, we might have been coming pretty close to you. We went out to Arizona 3 times last year. Sure, I'll go with that. I don't pay attention to that. I just know what my date is, which is pretty easy to remember. Because we got married on Sweetest Day. And as in the corned beef hash, you're not really cooking it, it's already pre-cooked. So you're basically just warming it up. Once it gets where I feel it's warm enough, then I'll dump the egg in there. And then we'll be ready. Be ready, Freddy. It is a long drive. We usually drive down to Buffalo, Missouri and stay with her little sister and husband. Even though they're only 6 hours away, it's just a nice place to stay. If we drive an hour further, we can go to Neosho and stay with her mom. Guess that puts us an hour closer. But sister-in-law is more fun, and brother-in-law is more fun. And then from there, we usually drive just shy of Albuquerque. And we try not to take that left. With the lockdown, wasn't good. Good question, preparedness veteran. Very good question. So during the lockdown, I do have a gym down in the basement. And I did work out, but did I work out with the same frequency? No, I didn't. When I first started lifting again when I turned 40. I did. I go down there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and just go at it. But the kids were already in bed. The wife, they had to get up really early in the morning, so she was already asleep. So I'm down in the basement, not bothering anybody, and I'd work out. But during the lockdown, being used to being in the gym environment for so long, it was hard to get that same routine. So, when the lockdown released and our gym opened up far sooner than most of them, they pretty much were telling the governor to stick it where the sun don't shine. My top lift was only 315 pounds, which was kind of discouraging. But I would say within 12 weeks, I was back to full strength. And that's just called muscle memory. And I was doing a lot of videos then, and I had a lot of people going, "Oh my God, you gain 5 pounds every workout. What's your secret?" Well, my secret was muscle memory. I'd been there before. I was trying to tell them that. I said, no, I'm just regaining my strength I had. I'm not building new strength. So don't think that, these workouts are going to do that. So, but the workouts in the basement, I do have the ability to do that. And when I go down to do laundry and stuff like that, I'll grab the curl bar, and I'll do a set of curls. But now where I used to work out, I've converted that into a reloading area. I had to shift focus. So let me get this stirred up one more time, get everything heated up. What I do, I just dump the egg right in the middle. So 1 egg. You can scramble it up if you want to, whatever. I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll just mix it in there. Sometimes I just leave it in there for like the presentation. So I got 60 grams of protein in this meal. So we're at 940. The egg is about 150. So let's call it 950, 1,100 calories. Yeah, so 1,100 calories for breakfast. That's a good breakfast. Because I am going to start upping the calories, because even though I'm eating anywhere between 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day, I'm still dropping weight, and that's a lot because it's very hot where I'm working. And I want to make sure I got enough calories in there. So today I'll go back out and I'll garden. I'll get one area. We're going to put a roll of the lettuce and mixed vegetables in. I'll get that in, get it marked. Eat lunch. Make my meals for today. Now I usually make my meals for in case I have a 12-hour shift, because it's more unusual. That's only because the corned beef hash has so much of it in there, and the Fairlife milk has it, and plus I got that monster egg. So usually it's not necessarily to have that much protein in a single meal, but a lot of times if you're going to do it, it's going to be breakfast that has, because breakfast is a very high protein meal, and it's there for a reason. It's to get your day started. That's why I say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, when I first got up 2.5 hours ago, I did have a big glass of milk just to wake the stomach up and get things going. But, that's a long drive. So, to get back to that, sorry, I wandered. So then we'd stay in Moriarty at the Red Roof Inn, only because they treat me well. It's not the fanciest place, but after they see me because that's where we stop on the way back too. So after they see me for 6 times, they gave me a really good rate, veteran rate plus some. And the first time we went there, they were filming a movie there. So the Best Western and all the other ones were filled up. We stop in Moriarty, New Mexico, and then we go to, then we finish the drive, which the daughter lives just south of Phoenix. So it's the third day we're arriving, and we usually get there around 2-3 in the afternoon. And it works out just about right, because about the time we hit Moriarty, it's getting to be around 8 o'clock, and we're tired because we left at 8 in the morning. And to drive through Moriarty, once you get past, or through Albuquerque, once you get past Albuquerque, there's not much for a long ways. So that usually works out the best way to do it. So I cook that at low heat until the egg's done. Got the bacon. I can break the bacon up, make it bacon bits. A lot of times we just do that to enhance the flavor all around. It's not necessary, but I guess it's part of the presentation. And we'll probably be trying to make a trip to Arizona come October. Hopefully the work is understanding about that. They said they are. For the birth of my grandson. So come October, I officially am Grandpa. Of course, the way I feel, I'm Grandpa already, but we want to make sure everything goes well. Yeah, there's not, once you get past Albuquerque, there's nothing for a long ways. The first time we drove, we went down the one gorge. And just before we got in there, I had a little over half a tank, and I pulled over to get gas. Mike goes, "Why are you getting gas?" I said, "I don't know where the next gas station is going to be. So let's get gas. Let's, buy our snacks, get the bathroom breaks done." And yeah, the next gas station was like 150 miles away. So I'm like, out here in the desert, you don't want to take any chances. The old saying is, if you keep the tank full, as easy as you can keep it empty. I try to keep it full. And then when I do travel, I do have 2 quarts of high premium fuel with me in case I don't pay attention, or one time the gas gauge just didn't read right. Then I have a little emergency where I can get to it. If I can't get somewhere in a half hour, I don't go. I imagine in the UK, everything's a half hour away. Oh, Prepper Cowboy, I stay at the Red Roof in Moriarty as well. Parents live in Phoenix. And that's correct. After Albuquerque, it's pretty desolate. That's awesome. I'll tell the wife that. Small world, huh? Country, everything is 15, 20 minutes away. So where I work is 12 miles. Well, it's 15. But where the wife works is 12 miles away. And to us, that's close. Because usually I'd have to travel, 60 to 80 miles to go to work. So, yeah, it's only 12 foot square. It's an island kingdom. So, just kind of waiting for everything to get ready. Kind of show you how it's looking right now. So you can see the egg in the middle. And everything else is done. But it's on a low heat, so I can slow cook it. It doesn't hurt anything. There we go. Gotta shake it up. Get it all ready. Today I'll start with my multivitamin and then go to the single vitamins a little bit later, just to change things up. Oh, and then I gave the wife the bad news this morning. She was not happy. But they asked me about overtime for next week, and I said, no problem. I'm the attitude that you grow hay when the sun is shining. And when they're offering overtime, I took advantage of it. So I scheduled myself for 24 hours of overtime next week. And that means that we're not going out Saturday and we're not going out Sunday, because I go to work at 3 in the afternoon and I can't be drinking. And so she was a little upset. I said, listen, weekend's supposed to be kind of cool and rainy anyway, so I'll save it for next weekend. But she was a little upset that I didn't check with her, and I said, well, honey, I said, I will double my pay. literally will double my weekly pay by doing that. I'll work 24 hours. I will make 40 hours of income. Because one thing about unions is they do negotiate some good stuff. Anything over 8 is time and a half, whether you work 40 that week or not. And then Saturday is time and a half, and Sunday is double time. So I signed up for 6 hours on Saturday, but I want the full boat for 8 on Sunday. I might even be able to do 10. I'm going to kind of peek. There'll be extra money. And this is the time to make it, because come October, I'll probably be heading out to Arizona to see the grandson, and I don't have vacation yet, so I'll have to take it without pay. So I want to bank the money now so we can go. So what I'm doing now is I'm working for Caterpillar, and I am a heat treatment technician. Sounds more exciting than it actually is. It's pretty easy work, it's routine, but it's great benefits. It's really good pay, and the people I work with are really, really good people. So I enjoy it. Like I said, the benefits you can't really beat the benefits there. And as long as you show up for work, they're happy. It's amazing how many people don't catch the whole concept. Yeah, I might have to flip that egg. It's still staying a little juicy on top. So I'm going to dig in there. Flip it over. There we go. Get that going. So I am excited about getting the garden in there for the rain to hold off. So let's go through what I'm going to put out there. So here's radishes. This is not a heirloom, but I think I'm going to grow them. I'll find out who likes them. Okay, that's garbage. Anything left in here? Okay, very few lettuce seeds. I'll just dump those in there. Carrots. I'll plant them with it. Lettuce. Cherry tomatoes. That'll go on a different plant. Beans. More radishes. More lettuce. Corn. Turnips. I'll try it. Sweet basil. That's a big plant, so I'm going to do that separate. Cucumbers, that'll be separate. Broccoli is a pretty good plant. Spinach gets pretty good. I'll put that in a different one. So we got dill. These things are going to grow up close to the house. The wife wants me to make a box so she can put those in. Big Jim chili, medium hot peppers. Heirloom variety. I don't know if I want to plant that or not. I don't like hot peppers. I'll set that off to the side. Parsley, that's a spice. More lettuce. Throw that in there. Collards. Holy crap, a lot of carrots there. More radishes. Beets. Cilantro. All that's going to go in a single row. Well, it's going to be a very long row. Hot peppers, good. Jalapenos is as hot as I go. Thing after that, it's just too much for this guy. What else I got going here? Some more there. These are bigger plants. Peppers, or cucumbers. Ah, here we go. Turnip. 7 top. So this is like the top of it. Put that in there. More lettuce. Now, of course, these packs don't have a lot of seeds in them. They're ones I bought over the years. I do have a bunch of these too. So here's kale, butter crunch lettuce. I can throw that in there. And usually what I'll do is about every 2 weeks I'll do a row of lettuce. Because they only produce so long, and then they go to seed. When they go to seed, if I'm on top of it, I collect the seed. So I'm going to try to plant all that today, if possible. Yeah, it needs to boom because people need to learn to be more self-reliant. Yep. I tell you, it's going to boom in the next couple of years because, go to the grocery store and there's lots of holes. Prices are skyrocketing. I mean, I used to be able to get the cheap tuna for 50 cents a can. It's now $1 or more. Doesn't get any better than that. All right. So here, all ready to eat. Woo, 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 woo. Ah, perfect. I say so myself. And I did. Yep. Oh, you can't pre-rinse things before I throw them in there. So I've got now to add a little dressing to it. Come on. Don't need a lot, just a little flavor. I get these at Costco. You get a 2-pack for about, I think it's like $11.99. Really good deal. And there we go. Oh, yeah. Now for a glass of milk. And I could almost even forego the milk because I got so much protein in there, but I like milk. It does the body good. When they're out of fashion, there we go. So yeah, now it's just breakfast, little Miss Prepper. Lunch will be around noon, and I'll eat lunch. Now yesterday I ate kind of a light lunch because I was going to the gym and I wanted to. I think I had cottage cheese, I had applesauce, and then I just had a protein shake. So that's my thing for today is to get that road planted. Lunch, gym, and then work. I'm still on 8-hour shifts this week. Next week I'll be doing 10 hours. So I won't be getting until 1 in the morning. And like I said, the wife's not happy, but the money's there, and I'm gonna take advantage of it when I can, when I feel good enough to do it. I imagine once she's off during the summer, I'll probably only do Sundays just because it's double time, and that's kind of nice thing is that they'll lie not to work Saturday and work Sunday. The only thing is when you tell them you're going to work overtime, you need to work it. Some people they'll say they're coming in on Saturday or Sunday and they don't. I guess because it's overtime, they don't get in trouble for it. But to me, that seems like a poor way of doing things. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. So we're talking about fitness in the garden. Garden's actually very good exercise, and it's actually good for the mind and soul. I mean, being out there, watching things, grow, watching yourself, producing your own food kind of has its own satisfaction. I think so anyway, in my opinion. And and then enjoying the food. The food is very good. I mean, nothing beats vegetables fresh from the garden. Remember, the time you're buying it from the store, it's weeks old, at least weeks old. Where I can go out and pick it in the morning. I used to do sweet corn. I go out there and I grab a ear of sweet corn and I'd have it for along with breakfast. Until I did that research on vitamin K, and too much sweet corn is bad for you. I don't know. Is it good for fruit trees? Yeah, I do have an apple tree, which I got a ton of last year on. So I was eating apple. I was taking an apple a day. One year I didn't do it last year, but I'll do it this. Well, probably won't be this year because they usually produce every other year. But the next time they produce, I will make applesauce. I did that one time. And I jarred off about 15 jars of really good applesauce. And generally, when I make applesauce, I eat applesauce, which is healthy for you too. I had a pear tree on there, but it did die. But pears do well here. I just don't like pears. The wife does. And I did plant cherry trees when I first got out here, but I didn't have any other trees to shade them at the time because that was 20 years ago. And this was pretty much, there was no trees on here. All the trees you see on here in my videos, I planted, except for some of them out in the field that are volunteers. And I'll probably go over that when I do my next garden one. I might just kind of give you a little history of when I put these trees in. So I think this year I'm going to try to get some cherry trees to put back in. Cherry tomatoes off the vine. Nothing wrong with that. That's one thing about cherry tomato, boy. When they start to produce, you get a couple a day, and then 2 or 3 days later, you're getting 5 or 6, and then you're getting 50. But wife and I like them in salads a lot. Oh, that's good. I haven't had hash in a while. It's probably been about 3 months. I probably need to remember to have it more often because I think everything I have in storage expires this year. Well, best by date, as Rudy would say. And because it is down in the basement, away from the sun in a nice cool environment, I'm sure I could go a year or 2 past them. On the prepping side, about once every 2 weeks, I'll go down and I'll really pay attention to what I have down there. Good stuff. Here, make some for you. And give me an idea of what I need to catch up on and what I need to stop buying. Which right now with the tuna, that's what I'm going to do. The tuna, I'm pretty much buying what I eat because I have such a good buffer. Now here's what I want to compare. Here I bought a 2-pack canned chicken from Swanson and 1 large Keystone. Now there you go. They were about the same price. I want to compare the nutrition on both of them. So on this one, 7 servings per container, it means I got 15 grams. Wow. That's a lot of protein. So that's 105 grams of protein in these 2 cans. All right, Keystone. Ooh. 14 servings, but 12 grams of protein. So this is 84 grams. So the Swanson actually has more protein. Now, the one benefit of this, even though I'm getting less protein, is this has a best buy date of 2027. Where this is 2024. Both will probably be ate before then. I do utilize these when I make the Bear Creek chicken and noodle soup. Because the soup does not come with chicken. So I will add, per meal, 45 grams. 45 to 50 grams is all you need to do. I kind of destroyed that today. We're figuring this is about easily 60 grams of protein. But you know, I just can't eat hash without an egg in it. I'm telling you, that's so good with the bacon and the Spam in there too. I should be like Paul Newman, come out with my own food product. Scottish Fitness, corned beef hash, bacon, and Spam. So I have not canned any chicken, but I'm thinking of doing it this year. My buddy's got some chickens that are about 4 years old. It's about time for, and he wants my help killing them. But I do not have a pressure cooker or a pressure canner, so I'd have to get that first. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. If anybody new in there that hasn't said hello, go ahead and say hello to the community. I'm kind of like doing that. Oh my goodness. I think I outdid myself here. The wife watched this video, she'd be so mad. Mike Dolan, how you doing? I got COVID and your channel has helped me start eating again. I'm getting my strength back little by little, so thank you for that. My pleasure. That's awesome. I'm glad that was being helpful on that. I did do that series on doing how I was recovering from the COVID and that. And, my condolences, that anybody had to go through it. It's not fun, even though it wasn't really, those 5 days of being discomfort and that, but it was different. Thank you, China. But good news is I recovered. I think for Sunday breakfast with the missus and I'll make this same dish. Except I'll use the Mary Kitchens. This is is so good. Let's see if I haven't missed anything here. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. And Mike, thanks for saying hello to everybody. Welcome. Glad to see you here. If you ever get to the point where you have some questions about what you can do to increase your calories, or how to get your mineral or vitamin content right, I do have the vitamin and mineral series that I put out there a couple of weeks ago. But you can always email me at scottishfitness@gmail.com. If it's questions that you just don't feel comfortable putting out there in the live chat, it will be confidential between you and I, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Remember, the best way to support this channel and any other channels that you look at is to watch those 15 and 30-second ads. And then if it is a longer ad, if you watch 35 seconds of it, it counts. That's the easiest way to help the channel. And of course, there are memberships and then the super chats. Most super chats go to toys and treats for Binks. This is another thing when you're talking about preparedness. Right, the food that you store has to be foods that you enjoy eating. People say, well, if you're starving, you'll eat everything, anything. Yeah, absolutely. But you will only eat it when you're at that point of starving. And we can be honest with you, most of us have never been at that point unless you went out in the field on the service. That explains why I eat snakes. But at that point of starvation, you're already malnutrition. You don't have enough calories, and you're not in a good situation. So you want foods that you like and that can be stored. So the Great Value brand might be cheaper, but if it's something you haven't had before, then just buy one can of it and go home and try it and see if you like it. Because sometimes those Great Value brands are just as good as the regular label ones, but not all the time. A lot of times it's not. My son used to eat Chef Boyardee all the time. And of course, being a grown boy and playing football and wrestling and track, he literally would eat 2 or 3 cans at a sitting. And, I used to be able to get them for 67 cents a can and buy them by the case. And then they had the Great Value for 50 cents. So I bought 2 of them. And it was a definite no-go. It was like, nope, we're not doing that. So I didn't buy a case of it because then I was going to have a case of food that no one's going to eat. And it's like the first year I did where I did the Mountain House. I'll be honest with you, I've already bought a few of those Mountain Houses before. I said, I better sit there and check it out. And I was very pleased with the product. Is it how I make biscuits and gravy? No, but it is edible. It is something I would eat. I wouldn't have to be starving to eat it. So I am recovering for sure. I feel like I lost 12% of my muscle, if not more. Yeah. I'll be working out today. I'll be going light just to get my blood pumping through to my muscles. That's the way to do it. Just start out light, slowly increase. When I got it in December, I did a series in January, The Road to Recovery. And it was about towards the end of February where I was back into the weights I should be doing. So definitely you're doing it the right way. Just I started out light, well, like I said, once again, I only went up to 315, didn't hit it too hard the first day because I didn't want to be, tied up in a little ball and pain and, because of soreness the day after. But by February, I was throwing 405 up again. By the end of February, I was getting into the 450s. So I felt really good. So, and like I said, it's that muscle memory that allows you to do that. It's been a tough year because then I ended up getting a flu/bronchitis that just beat the crap out of me for a month and a half and dropped me 20 pounds. And once again, I was, there was 365, 405 was my max. And But the thing of it is, you got to keep picking yourself up, keep going back at it. Don't ever stop. It's just too easy to say, okay, it's getting too hard, I'm going to quit. Don't do that. Don't ever quit. Even if you don't get back to where you're at, be the best that you can be at that time. I ain't gonna lie, that's some good eating. So I'll probably do a video of me doing some more rototilling and then maybe planting that row in. So it looks like the rain is holding off. Just want to let you know your channel helped me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm glad it helped you. That's what this channel is about. We're not a political channel or anything like that. We're about having a good time, talking about fitness and exercise and nutrition and gardening and things that help the mind, body, and soul. And everybody is welcome to join and participate. Actually, the live streams are far more enjoyable when you use my, as I call my core subscribers, ask questions and things like that, and give me ideas, like that one on injuries, that was preparedness veteran asked me to do that one. One on arthritis, that was the Celtic prepper. She was the one who asked me to do that one, which I was more than happy to do. So if you ever have ideas, hey, and I will do that lifting one for you in this form. I do have some ideas that big. The next time I'm carrying that 80-pound planter with my green pepper out, I will show you how I'm properly lifting it and carrying it out there. And then I will demonstrate positions not to lift it, but it won't be lifted, and I'll just be demonstrating you don't want to lift it in this position. It should only be a 2 or 3 minute video, but yeah, I'm gonna set that up for you so you can kind of see that, so you can lift safely. And if you are moving heavy things, if it's too much for you to do, don't do it, because it ain't worth throwing your back out and being out of commission for 3 to 6 weeks. Sometimes you have to get a lifting buddy or a dolly, or just leave it where the hell it is. Sometimes it's there for a reason. So absolutely more than happy to do that. Next sunny day that I'm taking that plant out, I will set it up and do that. And then usually what I do is I wait till I get to work where they have 5 bars on the 5G. And then what would take me 4 to 6 hours to download here, I can upload in about 10 to 15 minutes. Almost 420. I recently fell out of a tree and landed on my, ow. I walked it off in the moment, but haven't been able to lift anywhere near where I was before. Hopefully I'll recover. I'm only 20 years old. So yeah, falling out of a tree suck, especially when you land on the back. It had to be a heck of an impact. So hopefully you'll see the doctor about that. Be my first thing. And then when you talk about lifting anywhere near, are you talking about deadlifting? Are you talking about squats? Are you talking about bench? Because something like that, I think would hold you back on a deadlift and squat, just even if it's just mentally. So if you want to give me more information, just scottishfitness@gmail.com, and I can kind of give you an idea how to get back to where you're at. So first of all, if you haven't talked to the doctor, I would talk to the doctor and make sure there's no permanent damage done. I don't know how high you were in the tree, but landing on your back, even from a standing position, is never a good thing. Robin out there catching worms. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. I'd like to thank Mike Dolan and Mastery 420 for joining in. Thanks, welcome. If you're not subscribed, please do. Remember, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification button, hit that black bell so you always get notified when I'm doing a new video. I have been, reloading a lot of my shorts just to drive the views up, but I'm probably going to stay away from that for a while. So pretty much any of the videos that are coming out now are going to be videos of that day. So I will try to do videos of the garden. I'll do the breakfast chats. I'll try to do some lifting videos where I'm in a gym that's not blaring the music that makes me have to, replace it with other movies. So all you see is me doing, and you're hearing this free music in the background. Yeah, call a doctor. I mean, really, I did a few 60-pound over press a few days ago and it felt good, but I had the rest of the day after. Yeah, just to make sure there's not any. It probably worked a while to have the doctor look at it. You don't understand, most doctors are not going to understand about lifting unless they do it themselves. When I was in my 30s, my doctor was a bodybuilder, and I loved him. I mean, he understood that I was not going to stop lifting. And all he would say is, I'm not telling you to stop because I know you won't, but you might want to rethink that exercise. And he used to yell at me because you lift, you get a pain tolerance, whether you know it or not. And when I go in with an issue, he was like, yeah, you should have been here 3 or 4 days ago. And it's going to be because the doctor I have now, and bless her soul, she's a nice person, but when I complained of a shoulder injury, her first thing was, well, you got to stop lifting, and we're going to have surgery. And I said no to both. Then she said, well, you got to stop lifting heavy. And I said no. She goes, well, can you take 2 weeks off while I give you, something to help with the swelling? I said, yeah, I can do. So I did legs for the next 2 weeks. When I had my physical about 3 years after that, her and the nurse were just astounded about my shoulders, just how big and developed they were. To a point when they were giving me the flu shot, and the pneumonia shot, and the muscles, they're like, whoa! Could be funnier, Miss Worm. If you look at the thumbnail, I'm wearing a kilt. And if you're wondering, I do not wear anything underneath. And that was from the Highland Games. Well, probably 3, maybe 4 years ago. Where my daughter took me up there for Father's Day. And that was my Father's Day present, was to watch the Highland Games. And I ended up buying that kilt there. It was only $65, and I bought they had the Clan MacBean pin. I put that on there, and I bought the socks. I said, well, since I went that far, I went up to him and said, can I compete? Of course, they're looking at me like, how old are you? I said, well, I think I was 58 at the time. They said, you sure you want to do that? I said, I power lift. This looks like fun. So I competed in the amateur division. I think there was 18 of us. The next person closest to age of me was 15 years younger than I was. He dropped out. Another 18-year-old dropped out and ended up getting third. I go, for now, we'll catch you later, folks. Thank you for bearing judging. Well, no wonder I am now. No wonder about. There. And so when I bought that kilt, my daughter was there with her boyfriend at the time, husband now. And as I'm getting ready to compete, I walked by, I heard her say, don't you dare ask him. And I walked by, I said, oh yeah, I'm traditional. And she's like, Dad. But luckily I didn't wound anybody. Well, thanks everybody for joining in. Been almost an hour and a half in chat here. Very enjoyable. I'm just about finished with my delicious meal. And feel free to rewatch it and copy this recipe. I tell you, you will not be disappointed. This is by far the most delicious corned beef hash I've ever made. And you've seen it here first, folks. Oh, I like milk. I'm really truly in training to drink almost a gallon of that. Harvey Black, thanks for hopping in. Having a lunch and watching too. Upping the protein and just good calls. Good work, everybody. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. Remember, best way to support this channel and any other channel is watch those little ads. If it's a long ad, just watch 35 seconds of it. Subscribe, hit the bell notifications. Join as a member is always good. Members get discounts on my shirts, and I'm probably tomorrow, if it's raining, I'm going to drive out and pick up my new shirts. And if I get out there early enough, maybe I can do a special live. It'd be a little bit later to present them. I'm kind of excited about it. Also, some channels that I like. Absolutely. I'm going to go make some eggs. There you go. Eggs does the body good. The Fairlife milk. Remember, Fairlife milk, 50% more protein per serving than regular milk, half the sugar. I thought you were lurking. Harvey, you look like one of the lurking guys. Not that I know what you look like, but just kidding. Ark Wildman Survival, good morning. Good to see you, sir. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I was just coming home by then. Driving down the roads and looking for deer. Then coming home and seeing my sweet honey deer. That's about as talented as I get. But I am very punny. So, yeah, a few new people pop in here at the end, so I hate to pop away that fast. Oh, channels that I like and that you might want to consider is Van City Prepper. She got a really nice channel there and got some very exciting footage and stories. Body Beatdown, the Body Beatdown. He'd sit there and motivated me to go for hikes. And that helped me drop some weight. Alaska Prepper, Rudy, got a great channel, very informative. John at Prepper Nation, very informative, got a really good channel. Also, Cuba at Grayman Prepping, that's Grayman with Greyman, no space, because there is another Grayman with an A in a space. Ark Wildman Survival. You want to learn about some of the edible plants that probably are growing in the backwoods behind you, then that's the person's channel to check out. I see he has some nice mushrooms, and I'm probably going to go and look for some morels. I think we're about a week behind you on that. But I am tempted to put the booties on and hike back to my neighbor's woods and see if I can find some. I just don't know if I'm going to have time to do it today. Probably missing some people. Hopefully not. But I want to thank my moderator, Prepper Cowboy, and Miss Worm, and Harvey Black too. Not that we have too much of a problem with spam or people that shouldn't be saying things, but they might just be so fast that I never catch it. So everybody, be happy to each other, eat healthy, exercise. At least 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Turn the damn news channel off. It's nothing but bad stuff on there anyway. It's going to depress you. Grow a garden. Go for a walk in the sun. Enjoy life. And have a great day. Mac laptop today. So, All righty, I want to end this so I can get in the garden and that, and then I'll be posting that video later on this afternoon. And you miss worm, it'll be later on this evening. There you go. Last part. Thor Haven Farm. Yes, that's another good one. All righty. Now we're at an hour and a half, which is good. I got 15 thumbs up. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. You'll subscribe, share, tell it to the mountains, and everybody have a great day.